Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested by the creator. It's the longest waiting creator request map on the list. It's a creator we've done 5 times in the past, and the worst they've ever managed was 11 stars, which was last time out, episode 1317. Every other time it's 12 or 13 stars, so that's a pretty fine record and something. It's a tough ask to keep that up. Today's map is going to keep that up. It's a very fine fantasy map. Now, I did have a few problems loading the map up. That was down to mod settings, and I will talk you through them while we do the flyover so that you don't have to lose any time or hair trying to sort out the problems. But before we do any of that, yes, I've got a daily reminder for you. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Ancient Forest by domi. Yes, domi is back, and this is a very fine, fantastical map, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Okay, a lot. Start square, very pretty. Okay, all of the networking, everything there is very pretty. Plenty of flat buildable space on the map as well, which is all good. Resources, there's a lot of forestry. It's a heck of a lot of forestry, but not as many trees as you might think, actually. And then if we've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we've got a mix of all of the little fishies too, which is nice, isn't it? Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Now, if you scroll down on the right hand side there, it tells you about the intersection marking tool and no controller. Requirements, I mean, they're opt-in more than requirements. There's one-click collection, which is listed at the bottom. Remember, if you include your map in the collection, it will appear at the top, and that's the way that I think we all prefer it. It's easy to miss something like this otherwise. Very nice collection of trees that work really well on the map, including the NAR railways. We'll be using the Coosbay theme, the Clarity LUT. Also got procedural objects listed here, and Theme Mixer 2 at the bottom is there for tweaking basically the exposure settings, but if you've got Ultimate Eye Candy, then you don't really need Theme Mixer. That'd be fine. Now, these clusters of trees, and there are quite a few clusters of trees with just one tree on the road. I think that's the only one I found on the map. There may be another one somewhere because there's a lot of map and a lot of trees, and I am not completely infallible. But yes, there's just the one tree there, and not too many problems with the rail when we get to it either. Over here, we haven't quite finished building. It's always a nice little touch. Yeah, we're building in this direction. I think I would have built slightly off to the left, slightly away from that mountain, if it was me. But it's still a nice touch, and that's just my opinion. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. But yes, it's a nice little touch. Anyway, I had some problems loading the map. First time round, there was very little on it at all. And it turns out that while I'm using Tree Anarchy isn't not required. It's unlimited tree mod would be the mod you need. Now, we are underneath the tree limit, but not by much. So you don't strictly need it. But if you are going with Tree Anarchy mod, then the unlimited tree mod's the one you're going to need. Also, Prop and Tree Anarchy instead of Prop Anarchy. It's also going to mean unsubscribing to Harmony. So if you've got any mods that require Harmony, you may not be able to run this. Harmony. The EML. Sorry, I take that back. Not Harmony. EML, the Extended Managers Library mod. If you've got any other mods that require EML, then you probably won't be able to run this. Because I had some very funny experiences. I took an extra 2 hours of my life, I think, trying to sort it all out and trying to work out what the heck was going on. But yeah, when we get down to the start square, there was some really weird detailing, and it didn't match the screenshots, and I knew something was wrong. Something was very, very wrong. I mean, I could tell something was wrong without looking at the screenshots, because It was the most bizarre, almost comedic detailing I had ever seen. But hey, let's not worry too much about it. But it just goes to show that how these new mods, they don't always work perfectly well together. Intersection here, this is your start square. This is very slick, very pretty. In fact, you know, I mentioned procedural objects. I thought this was procedural objects here. This is just insane detailing. We'll find some procedural objects a bit later on. We won't look out for all of them, but we'll see some definitely. And then down into the start square water feature thing. This is great. This is where the bizarre detailing was. See all these rocks that are lining the pools and whatever. I had an awful lot of the signage for the ferries. You know, the ferry sign, yeah. And like broken bridge bits, but little bridge bits. I'm not quite sure where they're from, but I found a whole bunch of those just dotted around where the rocks were. It made no sense. It was really weird, and I knew something was wrong. But as I say, I can't blame Domi, because Domi hasn't said that you should use a specific anarchy, prop anarchy. Didn't say that. Didn't say use it. So I was using it. Just the problem. Now we're transitioning from one set of anarchies to another set of anarchies. I know this is going to add a lot of extra work for me as I'm forever switching between mods. And there'll be a lot of switching between mods. Also, a few of you may notice I've still got the glitching problems with the skybox around the horizon level. So yeah, there's going to be a little problem here and there with that. Again, that's nothing to do with Domi's work. That is a problem. Oh, hang on, I've dropped out. Let me get rid of that. Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be an ongoing problem for a while. I'm not sure what's causing it, but yeah, that dark blue splash there, I need to get rid of that somehow, but I don't know what it is that's causing it, and I don't have the time to go through everything in absolute detail to find it. Not right now anyway. Oh, I've got so many things coming up in the next few weeks for you guys. Rail, by the way, the rail's very good on this map. We're going to do a couple of there's that tree I mentioned that they'll be on the rail. Everything else is fine. A branch line joke, I should have thrown that one in. So yes, I've got some really interesting stuff coming up. I've got a fun tutorial coming up on Sunday. I say fun because it is exactly that. It's I don't think it's a tutorial anybody's going to use. But I think a few people are going to watch and go, oh, I didn't realise that. Exactly how I responded when I first discovered this one, having read it on social media. So yes, I thought, there's one that will be quite fun for you guys. It was quite quick for me to record as well, so that was a bonus. But yeah, I've got some bigger tutorials, serious tutorials coming up soonish. And plenty of other features and things, and just like so many things I want to crack on with this year, and I'm sorting out mod issues. So the problems I had with this map has put me probably a whole day behind. I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening now, and yes, I would have wanted by now to have recorded up to Wednesday, and I'm still recording Tuesday, and I'm tired, and it's getting close to bedtime, and dear, hang on, we've gone underground again. Everything with the rail is fine. The routes are a little bit fantastical, like we just had a full loop here, and we can loop back round there because we've got a little bridge crossing over. So yes, I mean, everything's fine. Oh, and you think that's great. We have got another little turn off in a moment, and this is one of those places where you're going to see a little bit of procedural object work. If we head up this line here, you come up to everybody's favourite factories, except for, look, missing chimneys, and that was done by procedural objects. So yeah, little things like that. Again, if you haven't got procedural objects mod, you just won't have any factories there. It's not a big problem, or maybe there might be just one factory there, the one that hasn't been edited, possibly. I haven't checked. Anyway, down into the this area, harbour area, which means
I'm impressed by the custom assets you've seen some YouTubers Let's Plays? Did you know some of them might be made by a mod within the game itself? Find out more with BonBonB's procedural object mod tutorial. Click the I button now.
And so back to Ancient Forest by Stephen's Domi and the shipping routes, which are fine. We've got shipping triangles, we've got this one that's a bit worrying, but it stops just before the bridge. And then this one, which goes off to the edge of the map over there, and then comes in and around and past the harbours, which connects up with the edge of the map over there. I have only one real minor grumble with the map, well, with the shipping routes on the map. Again, that's perfect there, no shipping clipping, no pillar clipping. And it's this route here. It kind of bends in and out where I would just would have gone straight line at that point, personally. Just me. Water flow in the start square. It's not the strongest, but it's quite deep, and we have got alternate options as well in the start square. So if you want to pump and draw, you probably can do that without too much difficulty. But again, I feel that this is definitely going to be a map that's going to suit a modded style game. Okay, right, what more can I show you? Well, it's quite a nice, it's kind of like a big island, and then we have these harbour cutouts down here if you want to be doing a harbour game. And there's plenty of flat land underneath all of these trees. There's a lot, one in the water, so we had one on the highways, we had one on the railways, and one with his trunks on. Yeah, that's it. It's not too bad, not too bad. Minor little grumbles here and there. Just, I'm sure these have been put there just to entertain me, you know. Quite probably. But anyway, yes, it feels it's a bit island-esque with some very clunky mountains with the Coos Bay theme. Now, remember, I use Coos Bay on Bonbon Island, and I know this theme pretty well. And if you have a look here, you can see almost like these shadows around the dark, which means that I think the white bits or the light bits are sunk in a bit. These are dipped in, or that's what they're meant to be. Over here, these are dipped in, and up here you can see how the water would run off down here and just erode those areas. So they look dipped in to me. Even more so if we come up to the top here, you can actually see a deep shadow there. Again, the white is dipped in. Which leaves me wondering about this part here. I mean, have a look at this. This is actually bulbous, but bulbous? It's bulging out. I'm going to do a very quick bodge job here. It's not going to work. I know it's not going to work because I recorded this earlier. But it'll give you an idea of what I mean, right? Just to give you a bit of an idea. I would knock that terrain in just a little bit. Yeah, it's. Do you know what? I still think it's a little bit better than it was. But again, in a quick job. So there are little things that can be done with the terrain just to pop it to the next level. But it's not bad to start off with. Okay, it's not bad to start off with. Just minor little things. This is procedural object work. All of that rock work there looks amazing. And then we've got lots of little dotted lakes, which again, remember, it's a fantastical map, fantasy shaped map. So like this lake up here, which makes zero sense. How would that ever evolve and maintain its water? Doesn't matter, because it's a fantasy map. And it looks quite nice. And I think that's the whole point with fantasy maps, is they have to be inspiring, just like grab you. Now, remember this bit of rail? This is the one that dead ends down by the harbour. Right, now, we've got that. But if we come a little bit over here, just a little bit, I nearly missed this. There's probably more on the map I've missed as well, obviously. But here, underneath this foliage down here, there is another stretch of railway. Now, this is down by the harbour, so maybe this is the old railway down by the harbour. Maybe. Now, if that's the old railway but down by the harbour, there's got to be a bit of a clue to where it came from. And I'm not really seeing it. There's no real old line, there's no terrain mark that I can see there that shows where that route used to be. So this, for me, is a curiosity. It's a nice idea, but I don't think it works well. And we'll look at something similar to that a little bit later on. Then we have right on the edge of the map. Look, if you're going to have something really striking like this, have it at the edge of the map. Okay. Therefore, if anybody who's more of a realist who doesn't like it, it's fine. It's on the edge of the map. They'll never see it. Okay. Then we've got another little pond, little lake thing. And again, liking the rock work and liking a little bit of the waterfall that's coming into it. And it's a nice little shape as well. So, yeah, it's just... There are nice little areas all over the map. Again, all very nice. This little village here, this is procedural objects as well, because obviously these things don't play very well with the terrain. So turning into procedural objects means that they will sit very neatly on the terrain. So all credit there. And then we've got some switchbacks going up into the mountain. Well, we get to my favourite part on the map. And it's just an asset that's been plopped in there, very neatly plopped in here as well. It's a castle. Ooh, it's a castle. Ooh, it's a castle. And do you know what? It works so well on the environment. Domi, this is great. You've got the right asset in a really good location. That, for me, is good work. Credit for that. Then the road heads back down, switchbacks back down the other side of the mountain, through a little bit of a tunnel section, which is all good. And then it stops about here, and we've got the same thing as with the rail. Although I think there might be a possible, and we've got to try and work out where we think it was going, but I think there's a possible route here. Possible. I would, though, have cleared a little bit of a way down this way, or just have it slightly lighter. Maybe, which way should we head it? Coming down here. We don't want to be going down any cliff edges. And then it kind of opens up. We've got a bit of a clearing down that way, but also a clearing this way. And that almost meets up with the highway over there. So I think that if we could just get a bit of a lighter tree line between the castle and the top of that, I would make that more believable as a thing. Personally. Just me. That's just my opinion. Anyway, meanwhile, we have an asset of the day, and it's the Hong Kong Tenement HR2 1x3 CR1 by Jeremychit. Jeremychit doesn't rhyme with anything, and this is definitely the thing that it doesn't rhyme with, because this is really very nice indeed. You're doing a Hong Kong or Eastern build, definitely use this. This is amazing. Anyway, factoids, because factoids, remember, we are reviewing ancient forests, so I googled ancient forests and I got the Daintree rainforest is estimated to be 180 million years old, making it the oldest forest in the world. In addition to being the oldest forest, the Daintree is also one of the largest continuous areas of rainforest in Australia, covering about 460 square miles or 1,200 square kilometres, if you prefer that. Anyway, Hong Kong Tenement HR2 a 1x3 CR1 by Jeremychit. As I said before, I like this. It's great work, really interesting shape, and some nice little shops at the bottom as well. Definitely a big fan of this sort of thing. Thank you. Jeremychit, as they say. As they say. Because that's your name. Why would they say anything else? Anyway, we haven't looked at the rivers, so what I'll do is I'll set the camera down. You can have a look at the river while I do that, and while I'm doing that, you can have a think about how much this map is worth. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or link in the description. It takes you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I like it. I like it. I think it's strong. I think we've got good design. Don't think it's quite as magical as it might want to be, but it's still magical. And there's plenty of strong 4-star areas. Maybe 1 or 2 5-star areas. Shh, don't tell Stevens. But I'm going to go for just below middle 4. Detail, exactly the same. Exactly the same. It's very, very good. I think it can be elevated a bit more. Doesn't need to be. So again, I'm going to go for a just slightly below middle 4. Gameplay potential. Yeah, I'm going to go middle 4. Slap bang middle 4. What would make this better for me is just a little bit more clearing for ready building. That's all it needs for me. Just a bit of clearing. But anyway, not too much. Not too much because it's Ancient Forest. That's the point, isn't it? By Stephen Stomey. As for the BonBonB seal of approval, it's 444. It should get it. It should. I just wonder. It needs a bit of clearing. Did I say it needs a bit of clearing? Yeah, just not much. Just a bit. Just to inspire me to want to start building on it. That's all it is. Just one small step. Anyway, if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elite. Use the words of the day in the comments. Score yourself some population points just for fun. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. And I'll get back to working on those new things. Woo, fun.